Well, first of all, I think it's been a really useful day, a lot of really good content. One of the things I'm definitely going to take away is one of the things that Mercer mentioned about harnessing the power of inertia. They mentioned that the auto-enrollment opt-out rate is about 9%, and in our business it's probably more like 3%. So I'd like to think about, or at least get my team to think about, what else we can do to take advantage of the fact that people simply don't pay attention, but what can we do that would benefit them? One of the other things I really liked that Gareth mentioned was their global listening program. So if at any point in time there's ever any free time to spend with the business, to talk to them, to find out what they would value, then that's definitely something that we'd like to embark on. And one of the other things Mercer also mentioned was that we spend a lot of time talking about pension, long-term saving, and the tax efficiencies of that kind of saving, but it isn't necessarily always relevant, especially to those who aren't higher earners and have other things going on in their lives. Within Ascential, we talk about short, medium and long-term savings, but we haven't put anything in place. And I think we probably need to concentrate a bit more on providing them with more options that are more relevant at the relevant point in time.
Thank you very much. If you pass the mic down to Peter.
Hi, echo a lot of what you said. A good thought-provoking day. I'd also got harness inertia down, but I'd also written down frictionless action, which I think was a double brief that Eve introduced. So looking at default funds, default strategies on our pension plan, really important. We're really proud that 85% of our employees use the default, but it's got to stay modern with the employee population that we've got. So if you're going to have inertia, then you've got to maximize that, and so you've got to use technology. For the workforce, as it's rapidly changing, technology is absolutely key to that. So where is the technology developments coming and affecting us now is really key. My final point would be, we need to, I liked Mercer's 4 pillars. So instead of just looking at financial well-being as a phrase, which is good, break it down into constituent elements. And if you can't get the fundamentals of day-to-day living understood and people to feel confident about that, you're creating unnecessary stress, which will impact undoubtedly their mental well-being. So to take that model of 4 pillars, focus on short term, do something there, 17 million people with less than £100 of immediate savings is frightening. So look at some of the technologies that are out there now, and I use one called CHIP. And it's very, very simple, doesn't cost anything, and without noticing it, it is putting money away just for that effect. I've been doing it for 4 months now, and I've got £400 just saved. And I know HSBC is doing one on roundings. So the technology is there to help people save, and we need our employees to engage with that.
Fantastic. I think I can use this one. It's been a fascinating day for me, Debbie. I think I was thinking on the way in this morning, I walked from Waterloo to here, which was fabulous. The sunshine was out, and it's going to be out when we get out there in a minute, don't worry. But, you know, just thinking about all walks of life, I mean, everyone I went past was completely different. And I think this is what I always come back to when I talk about well-being. But today, you know, you started off with the question, Debbie, at the beginning about, you know, what were the things that we think we needed to focus on. And you mentioned about people, if they were going to say none of the above, you were going to be quite surprised. We had a conversation on one of our tables just before the last 2 speakers. And actually, it should be none of the above, because we are pigeonholing what we think people need. And I think if we try and think of financial well-being in the same way that we are starting to think about health well-being, then I think that we've got an opportunity to focus more on the psychology that we heard about from the professor about how people think about money, actually. And it might not be about retirement that's important or the savings products. Let's think holistically about the individual and what journey they're actually going on in their whole life, and what are then the opportunities, the tools, support, resources that you have in place, and potentially you've got a lot already in place. So I'm going to focus on that. The other thing is I love the term pre-retirement. So, you know, for us, that, you know, thinking about the ageing population, we have to find ways of helping people retire. They've gone through their whole lifetime working, they're going to finish their job in your company that you're working in, and they're going to have this lifestyle that is completely different. We have to find ways, I think, of helping people get to that point and what they're going to do afterwards to enjoy the rest of that lifestyle. And it could be continuing to work perhaps as a self-employed or as a consultant. And I think if you can help them leave your organisation feeling fabulous about the company they work for because you've helped them on that journey, that's an area of focus for me. And the last one is, it is a little bit of a plug for you, because I'm really excited about REBA Link. And the reason why is because I don't know about you lot, but I get a lot from the conversations that we have on the table. So I think if we can all connect, and I love hearing from the speakers, but, you know, we have great conversations, and it's all about let's deal with pride. You know, let's just not be afraid of what we're all doing, the great things. Let's talk about it, and let's learn from each other. So yeah, that's what it is for me.
Fantastic. Thank you to the three of you being brave enough to stand up here at the end of the day and share your views. I've noticed that the comments have been coming up on the board. There's quite a wide variety. I think the psychology of money was really important. The top one there is no psychological justification for excessive executive pay. I've been hearing that from a lot of you and those who aren't here today as well, in terms of lifetime allowances, but also money doesn't motivate, so thinking more cleverly. There's comments about listening to employees, basic stuff we all know, but it's taking it back, it's implementing it, and there's been some interesting new stuff that you've mentioned. So I think we've got to that point of the day where I'm going to say thank you to all of you, and then we'll just do a quick sum up. So thank you, Peter, Meera and Sheila.